Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Alright, let's get into the video. These two videos basically sum up how I felt about the Pelicans' performance in the bubble. And this is why to me the Pelicans were the most disappointing team in the bubble. Alright, before I get any farther, make sure you leave a like and comment and subscribe so you never miss out on any of the fun. Alright, let's get into it. So, coming into the bubble, I really feel like the Pelicans had a golden opportunity to make the playoffs, to really assert themselves and to have a good 8 game stretch in the bubble, clinch the 8th seed after maybe a play-in with Memphis or whatever, and just have a really solid building year with Zion. And that just didn't happen. So I'm going to break down why I was so hopeful and then what actually went down in the bubble and why it was ultimately so just disappointing. So, but in the 19 games that Zion played in before the shutdown, his plus minus was through the roof, man. They were, I think they were plus some that a really good positive number. The number escapes me off the top of my head. He was averaging 24 points, 7 rebounds a game. He was hitting threes. He was doing really good. And then this quarantine picture leaks, or it pops up on the internet, and you can tell that he's shredded and he's lost some weight or whatever. And the buzz starts building. They're close to catching the Grizzlies and causing the playing game and really having a shot to clinch the 8th seed and play the Lakers in the playoffs, which everyone and their moms wanted to see that, man. Kind of like a Jordan versus the Celtics in '86 kind of thing. Zion versus LeBron. Arguably the league's two biggest draws this year. It was a match made in heaven. And then you throw on the fact that they had the easiest schedule left out of all the teams in the bubble. It really seemed like a lock for them to make the playoffs. And then they actually got there into the bubble, and everything just kind of slowly went downhill. First, Zion had to leave for a family emergency, and he came back, and he wasn't necessarily quite in shape. And then he was on a minute restriction, so like when they were playing the Jazz, it was close and it was tight, and Zion, their best player, the guy that they play so much better with on the court, just wasn't out there. It's a 3 or 4 point game with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Zion Williamson isn't playing because of his stupid minute restriction. And I understand they didn't want him to get hurt, but he needed to get back into shape if they were going to go on a long playoff run. And, he only played about 15 minutes every game, which is absolutely infuriating for him and as a fan because we want to watch Zion play. That's really the only reason the Pelicans are even on TV. And it just wasn't happening. And Zion, the report says Zion was frustrated, and rightfully so. They needed him out there, and they wouldn't let him play. And then you just factor in, they just came out some games and just started so slow. They played with no energy. They were really lackluster. Like in the Spurs game, they only scored 19 points in the first quarter. They gave up 140 points against the Kings. And I understand they're not the greatest defensive team in the world, but you can't do that. That's not an acceptable level of effort and trying to make yourself a playoff team. And it just showed that, maybe they weren't prepared for a playoff push. They were they really didn't seem they had a strategy. They were just kind of doing whatever, and doing whatever didn't work because they don't have the guys to do that. And so you put all that together, and they just had some really bad games where they just played like absolute garbage, man. Uh, and then you kind of factor in the other people outside of Zion just not playing well. That's clearly a function of just an overall team lackluster performance. But like Lonzo Ball, man, Lonzo Ball might be the worst player right now that actually starts and actually plays. 5 points a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, shooting 26% from the field. Just absolutely abysmal. Just so bad. Drew Holiday didn't step up. And just you just put all that together, man. And it's just really frustrating and annoying. The fact that they had a really epic opportunity to have an excellent year, make the playoffs. There was no pressure for them to make the playoffs this year, and they could have made it. And I guess maybe they were trying to get a lottery pick, but they're gonna be like 12th in the lottery odds, and this draft class is not super strong anyways. So there was really no point in trying to be in the lottery. And I don't know, it was just really annoying and honestly just disappointing because I had really high expectations for them. I didn't think they were going to go on some deep playoff run, but I had expectations for them to come into the bubble, a young team, play with a lot of energy, win some games, forced to play with Memphis, beat Memphis. I think they kind of matched up well against them. And they just didn't. They played like they didn't want to be there, like they hadn't not been practicing at all over the quarantine or whatever and everything like that in the hiatus. So you just put it all together, and that's why I just found the Pelicans to be the most disappointing team in the bubble. Okay, thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate all the support. Make sure you check out these two videos that I got linked below, and you have a great day.